Do y'all believe? Because I believe in Trick Williams. NXT Battleground, a great show, a pretty good weekend of wrestling, starting off with TNA Under Siege Friday night. Pay-per-view of the year, in my opinion, through these first 5 months of the year. Then Saturday night's main event was a huge letdown, but AEW Double or Nothing was great. I really enjoyed that. Then Battleground was also great as well. Just got caught up on that. So Battleground, what a show. We can get started with the first match, Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka. This was a solid match, but Zarya getting involved I felt like was unnecessary, and it happens way too often. Not Zarya specifically, but it's just championship matches with constant interference. Like, number one, Sol Ruka defended her title once in 36 days is insane to me. She could have at least had one defense on an NXT episode, but this is her first defense after winning the title at Stand and Deliver. So it took her 36 days to defend the title. She had it for 37 days now, and I like Sol Ruka, but we should be getting at least 2 title defenses per month from each champion. I feel like that'd be a perfect balance. Some wrestlers may defend them more, but it was a world championship. I understand defended it maybe a bit less, but even Jey Uso's defended his twice and has had multiple matches since becoming champion at WrestleMania. So, but let's not get into all that. But Sol Ruka hitting the X Factor off the top rope, cool spot. I enjoyed it. Sol being able to avoid the poison rana was a great spot, and hitting the spear. Now, not everybody needs to use the spear because it did not look great. I don't even like Zarya's spear, but Sol Ruka's spear did not look good. Like I said, Zarya got involved, which I wasn't messing with. Like, it was kind of unnecessary. Then she did it directly in the referee's vision. You can't even, I don't know if that was supposed to happen, or she was supposed to do it when the ref wasn't looking, or somebody missed a cue. But the match was solid. Sol hit a Soul Snatcher off the top rope, which was a great spot. Shout out to Sol Ruka and Kalani Jordan. Have great chemistry, even going back to Heat Wave last year. The rematch from that, essentially. It was a good way to get the show started. I just didn't like the involvement of Zarya. Hank and Tank teamed up with Josh Briggs to take on the Cullen. This match was alright. And then the ending was the ending, I guess. I don't think it should have been on the pay-per-view. Like, this is just a match that you put on a regular NXT episode. This isn't no special match that you save for a pay-per-view. Or you could have put it on the pre-show, because this didn't deserve to be on the main card. Briggs, he came out the gate hot. He was getting some good offense in, really on everybody in the Cullen. Then he hit a moonsault as well. Tank Tank was looking good. Tank got some great offense in. I enjoyed what he did throughout the match. Trying to see, the ref made a bad call. It should have been a 3 count and the Cullen wins, but the ref was counting way too fast, and it's really on the ref, not the wrestlers, because why are you counting super fast? Like, it needs to be a normal pace that you're at the entire match. Don't change it depending on the spot. Like, especially when you're not a special guest referee, you are a normal ref. Keep this pace the same the entire match so it can flow better. Izzy Dane got involved, but I'm expecting that with the Cullen. Y'all know I'm a guy that don't like a lot of interferences, but with Izzy Dame and the Cullen, it actually makes sense for her to get involved. But Hank and Tank ended up getting the win, along with Josh Briggs, in a solid match. Then, as Izzy Dame was getting a cheer as the Cullen was attacking Hank and Tank and Briggs post-match, he had Inamura return after only being gone for 2 weeks. So you do that whole segment with them just for him to be gone for 2 weeks. That's interesting. That I didn't really get. Then you had Tony D taking on Stacks. I thought this match would have had a stipulation to it. It was a great match, but the ending is what threw me off. Like, Tony D letting his emotions take control, like, that's a good story. I'm fine with that. I actually like that. And Stacks taking advantage of that with him being the heel now. That's a good move. He would even take advantage of it as the underboss, which I don't know why they still refer to him as the underboss when he's not there anymore. But it was a great match. It was some good back and forth. Stacks ended up getting the win, as he should have. But Luca Garza, that's a basketball player. Luca Crucifino came back towards the end of the match, and Tony D was confused, and I'm confused too, because I thought it was a heel turn, but he wanted to go in the ring and talk to Tony D, and he just left. So now I'm confused, because at this point, I think the story should end here, because it's not. Tony D should do cross-promotional stuff, because there's nothing more for Tony D to do. He's already been the North American champion, and he probably won't be the NXT World Champion, but he will But yes, other stuff for him to do. So we they could do other stuff because obviously everybody can't get caught up, but you can do cross promotional stuff. We've seen it with Trick Williams, and we're gonna get into that near the end because I believe in Trick Williams. But next match, Stephanie Valkyrie versus Jordan Grace. You had some women from AAA. It was two women in the front row eyeing Jordan Grace as she came down. That she used to compete in AAA. So at Worlds Collide that's coming up, she'll probably have a match against one of them. Or maybe she team up with Lola Vice to take on both of them in a tag team match. Who knows what can happen? We're gonna have to stay tuned in NXT to see what happens with that. But the match started. Stephanie Valkyrie in that purple gear looked amazing. That was some of the best gear I've seen. That was probably the best gear I've seen all weekend. But Stephanie Valkyrie, Jordan Grace, they show respect to each other. Then they got to work. Grace started staring at Booker T. It's like, okay, we get that Booker T is a huge fan of Stephanie Valkyrie, but it's no reason for Jordan Grace to stare down Booker T. And that allowed Valkyrie to take advantage of that. Valkyrie did a high crossbody, which was a decent spot. Uh, it was some good near falls and some good drama in this match that I enjoyed. And then to end the match, Valkyrie did just like twist and move off the top rope. I don't even know the name of it, but it was a really cool move for her to retain and was a great match. And I was saying that I want Stephanie Valkyrie to be on the main roster, but Jordan Grace doesn't benefit from winning the NXT Women's title, so I'm fine with Stephanie Valkyrie retaining, because Jordan Grace doesn't need it. Now we know Lola Vice is supposed to be next in line. JC Jane took her shot backstage when she was getting into it with the two women from AAA. So she's got four women on her neck for the title. Obviously, Lola Vice, if they do the match, Lola Vice probably won't win. But Lola Vice and Stephanie got respect for each other, so they could team up to take on the two women from AAA at Worlds Collide, which I'm not mad at that if they decide to go that route. JC Jane, I don't know how she would get a title shot when Lola Vice said that she was next already, and she beat Fallon Henley. So maybe you make it a triple threat match on NXT or something. But anyways, I'm excited for what they got for Stephanie Valkyrie. I'm enjoying it. Obafemi vs. Miles Bourne for the NXT World Championship. I enjoyed this. You had a standstill early. Miles hit his drop kick early on in the match, but it wasn't enough to take him down because early in the match, Obafemi was kind of dominating, like kind of making it seem like Miles wasn't ready for this. Making it seem like Miles wasn't ready for that spot yet. So they did a good job with that. And then, like I said, Oba was in control early. Miles didn't get a lot of offense in. But towards the middle of the match, when Miles, he did the power slam. He went flying over, do one of his moves. Then he hit 4 drop kicks at one point during the match. Not in a row, but they all came at different times. So there was some good stuff they was able to do with that. Miles kicked out of the fall from Grace, the first one, and the match kept going, so it built some good drama in the match, which is always what you like to see in a championship match. So Oba was like, I can't just hit one of them, so he hit 2 fall from Graces following that, and was able to retain the NXT World Championship. In a great match, I enjoyed this. Like all 4 of the championship matches on the card were great matches. I just didn't like the one with Sol Ruka because Daria got involved. But now let's talk about the main event, because all that, it's time to start believing, because I believe in Trick Williams. That match with Trick and Joe Hendry, a great way to close the show, great main event. Mike Santana early in the night saying that he's going after whoever wins the title next. I'm like, okay. And then him having a match with Tavion Heights, a guy that respects him, who done seen him around the world. So it's going to be a fun match on NXT. Mike Santana still get the win, because if he wants to go to the TNA World Championship, then he has to get a win no matter who it's against. But this going to be a good match. It's going to be a good way for Tavion Heights to become more over with the fans and with the crowd. So I like that. Going into this match, Joe was champion for 126 days, and this was his 6th title defense. The crowd was rocking. They was really into it. Trick Williams, he hit the Uranagi a few times, but he hit it early on. Joe did the fall-away slam. Trick with the axe kick. The Trick even hit the spinner Rooney, and then he almost lost because of that. But it was a funny spot. Trick even hit the Uranagi through the table, through the announce table on the outside, which was a good spot. Trick targeted the injured shoulder of Joe. I think that's the one where he had the torn rotator cuff. Not torn, but the rotator cuff injury he had earlier this year. It might have been that shoulder, because it was his right shoulder, I think. Yeah, that was he targeted that one where he had an injury earlier on in the year. So people might not have noticed that, but that was a really good spot, picking apart that shoulder, because it might not be completely healed. And then Joe Hendry did the standing ovation, but Trick was able to get his foot on the ropes. And then Trick, he brought the title into the ring. The referee stopped and made him drop the title. And then Trick went for another, I think he was going to go for the AA, and Trick reversed it. Then he dropped Joe, and his head hit the title. But the ref couldn't do nothing because the title was there, and the ref didn't remove it. So Trick Williams ended up getting the win, and he's your new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. This was a great match. I enjoyed this, and Trick Williams should be the TNA World Champion. It makes the most sense. Like, when you're doing cross-promotional stuff in a partnership, the titles have to change hands sometimes. And it doesn't mean that Obafemi should lose to should lose his NXT title to a TNA wrestler. No, it means that titles can change hands, and don't be surprised when it happens. This is how a partnership works. It has to start somewhere. And they've obviously had great matches and stories before. This was their best story and one of their best matches between the partnership. And Trick winning is the right person. He's now a 3-time world champion, won 2 NXT world titles, and now he's TNA world champion. They don't have nothing for him on the main roster yet, so keep him in NXT and have him do cross-promotional stuff. This is amazing for for Trick Williams and this story. But it also is good for Joe, because it's going to build some character. He has to go back to TNA, and that's going to be talked about. He wasn't able to keep the title in TNA. Everybody's going to be clowning him. A few guys going to have his back, like Elijah, like Leon Slater, the Hardys. They're going to have his back like it's all right. You're going to get back to the top. But guys like Nick Nemeth, AJ Francis, some of the other top heels, they're going to be clowning him. You couldn't keep the title for us. Then obviously Mike Santana, he might be split, because he's going to try to get that title back. And Mike Santana got respect for Joe Hendry, so we going to see where that goes. Mike Santana probably won't be the guy to beat Trick Williams for the belt, and Trick probably won't keep it long, but this is a great move for the partnership. I really like this decision. I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks that it should happen, and nothing against TNA, because I love TNA. I've been saying this, but this makes perfect sense, and it happened in WWE home turf. So when Trick loses the title, it's probably going to happen at a TNA event. That's when he is going to lose the title. So, yeah, this was a great event. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I do think this was a great pay-per-view. In my opinion, this NXT is the best pay-per-view of the year. Now, it's not the best wrestling pay-per-view of the year, but as far as NXT goes, this is their best pay-per-view of the year, and then it's probably WWE's second best. Yes, WWE's second best pay-per-view of the year. But yeah, this was a great weekend for wrestling. TNA Under Siege, the only pay-per-view I give a 10 out of 10 to this year, pay-per-view of the year. And then AEW Double or Nothing, 8 out of 10, a great event. But a lot of great wrestling this weekend, aside from Saturday night's main event, which I already did my review for that. But NXT Battleground, amazing show. I really enjoyed it. Hope y'all did too. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment what y'all thought about NXT Battleground.